Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. This time we're going to be exploring Katy Milkman's How to Change.
Oh, yeah. I've heard good things about that book.
So have we, and we've got some excerpts from it here today, ready to dig into.
Awesome. Yeah.
We'll be uncovering her secrets for behavior change.
Okay.
We're talking about how to get past those tricky things, like impulsivity, procrastination, and forgetfulness.
Oh, yeah. I struggle with those.
And how to use, research and real-life stories to get to where you want to be.
That would be great.
Yeah, we'll unpack all of this so you can start using these techniques right away.
I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right, so tell me, what's the first thing that...
It's really interesting to me how she approaches it, like it's strategic problem solving.
Oh, okay.
She helps you figure out what's holding you back from making the changes you want.
Okay.
And then gives you specific strategies for tackling those roadblocks.
Oh, that's interesting. So roadblocks could be...
Yeah.
I mean, anything like our own,
Could be your own impulses. It could be distractions.
Okay.
It could be lots of things. Yeah.
Cool. All right. So let's dive in. The first concept we'll explore is the fresh start effect.
Okay.
So Milkman says we're more likely to start new habits or make big changes when we feel like we're at the beginning of something.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Think about like New Year's resolutions, birthdays, or even just the start of a new week.
Mm-hmm.
These are all times when we feel that sense of a fresh start.
Makes sense.
Why do you think that is?
Well, on those fresh start dates, we feel disconnected from our past failures.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's like we can hit the reset button.
Yeah.
We're more optimistic, more capable.
So it's almost like a clean slate.
Yeah, today's a new day and I can do this.
Yeah, I love that. And these fresh starts don't have to be these big monumental occasions.
Yeah, that's good.
Milkman actually suggests we actively look for ways to shake things up in our lives.
Yeah?
Even small changes can make a big difference.
Yeah.
So something as simple as like rearranging your furniture.
Rearranging your furniture.
Can give you that fresh perspective.
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe trying that new coffee shop down the street helps you break out of your routine.
Makes sense.
What do you think about that?
Well, yeah, it's like by making small changes in your surroundings, you can kind of interrupt those old thought patterns.
Yeah. And open yourself up to new possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
So how can we apply this fresh start effect in our everyday lives?
Okay.
Take a moment to think about what area of your life feels stuck or stagnant.
Okay.
Maybe it's your work routine, your exercise habits, a personal project you've been putting off.
Those are good examples.
Yeah. Now imagine you're starting fresh in that area. What small changes could you take to create that feeling of a new beginning?
Okay.
Could you reorganize your workspace? Sign up for a new fitness class? Maybe commit to spending just 15 minutes each day on that project?
You know what's great about that is even small adjustments can really shift your mindset and help you gain momentum.
Totally.
Speaking of momentum, let's move on to another break challenge.
Okay.
Impulsivity.
Oh, yeah.
This is something we all struggle with.
For sure.
That temptation to choose immediate gratification even when we know it's not in our best long-term interest.
Yes. 100%.
Yeah.
You know that feeling when you know you should be working on that big project, but suddenly organizing your sock drawer feels incredibly appealing?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like that kind of thing?
Yeah, exactly.
And so Milkman has this fascinating example of how to combat impulsivity using something she calls temptation bundling.
I like it already.
And she's a big fan of novels.
Okay.
But she realized she was spending way too much time curled up on the couch reading instead of going to the gym.
Oh, no.
Right? I mean, who hasn't been there?
That's me.
So how does she solve this problem?
Oh, geez. I don't know. Did she force herself to cut back on reading?
No, she got smarter about it.
Okay.
She decided she would only allow herself to indulge in those enjoyable novels while working out.
Oh, wow.
So by linking these two activities together, she created a positive association.
I see.
Working out became less of a chore because it was tied to something she truly enjoyed.
So it wasn't, I have to go to the gym. It was, I get to go read my book.
Exactly.
That's clever.
And it worked. Her research shows that this temptation bundling strategy led to a 55% increase in workout frequency.
Wow.
Now think about your own life. What's one thing you should be doing more of but struggle to find the motivation for?
Oh, gosh. So many things.
Maybe it's sticking to a budget or making healthier meals.
You got me.
Or finally organizing that closet, whatever it is. I bet there's a guilty pleasure you could bundle with it to make it instantly more appealing.
Probably.
What if you only let yourself listen to your favorite podcast while prepping those healthy meals?
Oh, that's a good one.
Right? Or allowed yourself to binge watch that new show while tackling those dreaded expense reports.
See, now you're talking.
By strategically linking those should activities with something you genuinely enjoy,
Yeah,
you can make those positive changes feel a lot less like work.
totally.
It's like tricking your brain into choosing the healthier or more productive option.
Love it.
What do you think?
Yeah, and if you can find a way to make those should activities more enjoyable in their own right, that's even better.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like,
Yeah.
instead of forcing yourself to run on a treadmill, you could find a dance class that feels more like fun than exercise.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Like something you actually want to do.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's a good
That's a really good point.
place to leave it for today.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right, so we've tackled fresh starts and impulsivity, but let's be honest, there's another big hurdle that often trips us up: procrastination.
Oh, tell me about it.
We all have those tasks, that
Yeah.
we keep putting off,
Mm-hmm.
even when we know we should just get them done.
It's like, why do we do that to ourselves?
I know. And Milkman actually shares this story
Okay.
about a bank president in the Philippines named Omar Ondaya,
Okay.
who came up with a clever solution to help people overcome procrastination when it came to saving money.
Interesting.
He noticed that a lot of his customers
Yeah.
struggled to save regularly.
Makes sense.
So he designed this special type of savings account
Okay.
called Seed.
Seed.
Yeah, and what made Seed unique was that it placed restrictions on accessing the funds
Uh-huh.
until a specific goal was met.
Oh,
So it basically acted as a commitment device.
I see.
You're kind of making a pact with your future self.
Yeah.
You're saying, okay, future me, I know you're going to be tempted to spend this money,
Right.
but I'm locking it away so you can't.
That's a good idea.
Right. And there's actually a ton of research that supports the effectiveness of these commitment devices.
Oh, wow.
Milkman highlights this MIT study
Okay.
where students who set their own deadlines for assignments
Okay.
actually had 50% fewer errors
Really?
than those who only had a single final deadline.
Wow, that's interesting.
It's fascinating how creating those external constraints
Yeah.
can make such a big difference in our
It's
behavior.
like we know we're going to mess up.
Yeah,
So we're trying
we're
to
anticipating it.
outsmart ourselves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what are some practical ways that we can use commitment devices in our own lives?
Okay.
Well, one classic example is the cash commitment device.
Oh, yeah. I've heard of this.
Have you heard of that?
Yeah. You put money on the line that you'll lose if you don't reach your goal.
Right. Like, I've even seen websites where you can, set up these bets with yourself.
Totally. Yeah. It's like
I've never done it, but
Yeah.
I've thought about it.
It's a powerful motivator, though.
Yeah.
Because most people hate losing money.
Oh, for sure.
So, yeah.
And then there's the power of public pledges, right?
Oh.
Where you announce your goals to other people. You
Mhm.
create that sense of social accountability.
For sure.
So you're less likely to back out when, people are watching and cheering you on.
Right.
Or maybe judging you if you fail.
Exactly.
So it doesn't have to be anything formal. You
Yeah.
could just tell your boss, hey,
Mhm.
I'm going to have that report done by Friday,
Yeah.
even if it's not officially due until the following week.
I like that.
Just knowing that you've made that commitment to someone else can be enough to keep you focused.
Yeah. Keeps you accountable.
All right, so let's shift gears a little bit
Okay.
and talk about forgetfulness.
Right.
It's one thing to set a goal,
Yeah.
make a plan,
Hmm.
but sometimes we simply forget to follow through.
Oh, yeah. All the time.
Milkman talks about how this company E5 Health,
Okay.
which focuses on improving employee wellness,
Right.
was struggling to increase their flu vaccination rates.
Oh, wow.
They were offering free flu shots, sending out reminders, but
Yeah.
participation was still low.
Why do you think that was?
I don't know. Why do you think that is?
I think sometimes reminders aren't enough.
Yeah,
We might see it, but then get caught up in other things and completely forget about it.
right. We get
It
distracted.
happens to all of us.
Totally. And there's actually a study that Milkman mentions
Okay.
about reminding hotel guests to buckle their seatbelts.
Okay.
And they found that even a short delay,
Like, how short are we talking?
5
Minutes?
minutes between the reminder and the opportunity to buckle up,
Yeah.
led to a significant drop in seatbelt use.
Wow, that's surprising.
I know, you would think that,
Yeah, you'd think you'd remember for more than 5 minutes.
right.
Yeah.
It's we're constantly
Bombarded with information
bombarded with information and distractions.
and distractions. Yeah.
And that's exactly why Milkman recommends using something called implementation intentions.
Okay. Implementation intent.
Yeah, so it's not enough to just have a goal, right?
Right.
We need a specific plan
Right.
that links a desire action to
Okay.
a specific cue.
Right, right.
So instead of just saying, I want to eat healthier,
Mm-hmm.
you would create a more concrete plan. When I'm packing my lunch, I'll make sure to include at least 2 servings of vegetables.
Oh, that's a good one, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Or if I see the cash register at the coffee shop, I'll use my reward coupon instead of buying another latte.
That's a really good one.
Right. So you're connecting a specific action to a specific cue.
Yeah.
You're creating this mental trigger
Right.
to help you follow through.
So you're not just relying on willpower.
Without having to rely solely on willpower.
Yeah.
It's like creating an if-then statement for your brain.
I like that. Yeah.
So if this happens,
I'm going to do this.
I'm going to do that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And Milkman's research shows that
Yeah.
these implementation intentions can be incredibly effective.
Really?
In a study she conducted, planning prompts led to a 4 percentage point increase in flu vaccination rates.
Wow.
So if you're struggling to remember to do things like take your medication, exercise regularly,
Or even just send that important email.
send that email or whatever it
Yeah.
is, use that implementation intentions.
I like it.
You might be surprised how much easier it is to stick to those positive behaviors
Yeah.
when you have those helpful cues in place.
That makes a lot of sense.
Okay, so this next topic might seem a little counterintuitive,
Okay.
but let's talk about laziness.
Laziness.
I know it might sound strange
Yeah.
to embrace laziness when we're trying to make positive changes.
Right.
But Milkman actually suggests
Okay.
that we can leverage our natural tendency towards inertia to our advantage.
Okay.
What do you think she means by that?
Well, I mean, we all have routines and habits, right?
Totally.
Like things we do without even thinking.
Yeah.
Brushing our teeth, making coffee,
Checking our phones.
Yeah, all those things.
It's like our brains are always looking for ways to conserve energy.
Right.
So what if we could harness that energy-saving mode
Oh,
and use it to create positive habits?
okay. I like where this is going.
Right.
Yeah.
So one example Milkman gives is organ donation rates.
Okay.
In countries where opting out of organ donation is the default option,
Yeah.
donation rates are significantly higher
Really?
compared to countries where you have to actively opt in.
So people are just sticking with whatever's pre-selected.
Yeah, it's like that
Which is-
path of least resistance.
Yeah, I see that.
And this principle can be applied to so many areas of our lives.
Okay.
For example,
Yeah.
some studies have shown that making generic medications the default option
Oh.
in electronic health records
Yeah.
led to a significant increase in generic prescriptions.
Interesting.
It's all about making that desired behavior
Yeah.
the easiest path to follow.
Makes sense.
So how can we use this to our advantage?
Okay.
Let's say you want to start eating healthier.
Okay.
Instead of relying on willpower every time you go to the grocery store,
Yeah.
you could sign up for a meal kit delivery service.
Oh, that's a good one.
That sends you pre-portioned ingredients for healthy meals.
Uh-huh.
That way, cooking a nutritious dinner
Yeah.
becomes the default option
Right.
rather than having to plan and shop for all the ingredients yourself.
That's so much easier.
Right. Or maybe you rearrange your pantry
Oh, yes.
so that the healthy snacks are front and center
Yeah.
while the less healthy options are tucked away
Out of sight, out of mind.
in a harder to reach spot.
That's a good one.
It's about making those good choices.
Yeah.
The ones that require the least amount of effort.
Love it.
Right. What do you think?
Yeah, it's all about setting up your environment to support your goals rather than working against them.
Exactly.
So true.
Speaking of setting up your environment, I'm also curious to hear more about habit formation.
Yeah.
It seems like once a behavior becomes a habit,
Yeah.
it requires much less willpower to maintain.
Sure.
Milkman tells this amazing story about a firefighter named Stephen Testing,
Okay.
who experienced this firsthand. During this massive warehouse fire,
Okay.
he instinctively followed his training
Wow.
and performed this crucial safety check, even though the situation was chaotic and extremely stressful.
Of course.
And he credit his training for helping him stay calm and focused in that really intense moment.
It's incredible how those deeply ingrained habits can just kick in,
Yeah.
even under pressure.
Yeah,
Right?
totally.
When we practice something consistently, it eventually becomes wired into our neural pathways.
So how can we consciously create those positive habits?
Yeah, how do we turn those conscious choices into those automatic routines?
Yeah. What are the keys?
Repetition is key.
Okay.
The more we repeat a behavior, the more ingrained it becomes.
Right.
But it's not just about mindless repetition.
Oh, okay.
We also need to be mindful of the context.
So if you're trying to establish a new exercise routine, it's helpful to work out at the same time each day
Yeah.
in the same location.
Exactly. Consistency helps solidify that habit.
Got it.
And another helpful tip is to try piggybacking a new habit onto an existing one.
What do you mean?
Like, let's say you want to start flossing regularly.
Okay.
Instead of trying to create a whole new routine,
Yeah.
try making it a habit to floss immediately after you brush your teeth each night,
Oh, that's a great idea.
right? So the act of putting your toothbrush away
Becomes the cue to floss.
exactly becomes the cue.
I'm definitely going to try that.
That's a good one,
And of course, it's important to track our progress.
for sure.
And celebrate those small wins along the way.
Totally. Yeah. Acknowledging our successes helps reinforce the behavior and keep us motivated.
For sure. Now, before we wrap up,
Okay.
I want to touch on one more crucial aspect of behavior change.
All right. What's that?
Self-doubt. It can be a major obstacle when we're trying to make changes in our lives.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We start to question our abilities.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder if we're even capable of achieving our goals.
Totally.
So what are some of the insights that Milkman offers on overcoming self-doubt?
Well, one thing she emphasizes is the power of belief.
Okay.
Our beliefs about ourselves can actually shape our reality.
Oh, wow.
She mentions this fascinating study where researchers told hotel housekeepers that their work was good exercise.
Oh, interesting. So they were basically reframing the housekeeper's daily tasks
Yeah.
as a form of physical activity.
Exactly. And what's amazing is that simply believing their work was exercise led to actual improvements in the housekeeper's health.
No way.
Yeah. They lost weight, their blood pressure went down, and they even reported feeling more energized.
That's incredible.
It really is.
It really highlights that mind-body connection
Yeah.
and how our perceptions can influence our physical well-being.
Totally. And there's another good example. She gives the story of George Danzig.
Okay.
He was a math doctoral student at Berkeley,
Mm-hmm.
and he accidentally solved two notoriously difficult math problems
What?
because he mistakenly thought they were homework assignments.
Oh, wow.
So he's looking at these problems and he's like, these must be part of my homework.
Yeah.
And he ends up solving them.
Wow.
And then later there's like, no, those were actually unsolved problems.
So his belief that he should be able to solve them
Mm-hmm.
actually led him to find the solution.
Exactly. It's wild.
It's like our brains rise to the occasion when we believe in ourselves.
Totally. So how can we cultivate that belief in ourselves, when we're facing a challenge?
Yeah, how do we do that?
One strategy Milkman suggests is to surround ourselves with supportive people,
Okay.
people who believe in our potential.
Yeah.
Their encouragement can help us stay motivated and remind us that we're capable of achieving great things.
It's like having a cheer squad in your corner.
Exactly. And here's another interesting idea. Milkman proposes giving advice to others
Okay.
can actually boost our own confidence.
Really?
There's a study she mentions where students who gave advice to younger peers on academic topics ended up performing better themselves.
Wait, so by helping others, we actually end up helping ourselves?
It seems that way. When we take on the role of mentor or advisor, it reinforces our belief in our own knowledge and abilities.
Interesting.
Plus, it helps us think through challenges more strategically.
Right.
When we're explaining a concept to someone else,
Yeah.
we have to really understand it ourselves.
Makes sense.
So if you're struggling with self-doubt,
Okay.
consider finding ways to mentor or support others.
Yeah.
Whether it's offering advice to a friend, volunteering in your community, or sharing your expertise online,
Mm-hmm.
those acts of helping others can actually strengthen your belief in yourself.
I like that. Okay, so one final concept I want to touch on before we wrap up
Okay.
is the power of social influence.
Oh, yes.
We are all influenced by the people around us,
Oh, yeah,
whether we realize it or not.
for sure.
Milkman highlights this classic study on hotel towel reuse.
Oh, yeah, I think I heard about this one.
Have you?
Yeah, they were testing different messages to encourage guests to reuse their towels.
Exactly. And they found that the most effective message was the one that emphasized social norms.
Really?
When guests were told that 75% of other guests reuse their towels,
Okay.
they were significantly more likely to reuse their own towels as well.
It's like we want to fit in.
We have this innate desire to conform to what we perceive as the norm.
Yeah, we want to do what everyone else is doing.
Exactly. So if you're trying to change your behavior,
Yeah.
one of the most powerful things you can do is surround yourself with people
Mm-hmm.
who embody those desired behaviors.
Find your tribe.
Find your tribe. Join a running club if you want to start running regularly.
Yeah.
Find a group of friends who prioritize healthy eating
Mm-hmm.
if you're trying to improve your diet.
Makes sense.
And even if you can't find a group in person,
Yeah.
look for online communities or social media groups where people are supporting each other
Yeah.
in making those positive changes.
Totally. Being part of a community can provide that accountability,
Yeah,
encouragement, and inspiration.
you're all in it together.
You're all in it together.
Well, this has been an incredible deep dive into Katy Milkman's How to Change.
It really does.
We've explored so many fascinating strategies for understanding and overcoming
Mm-hmm.
those common obstacles that prevent us from achieving our goals.
Yeah, and what I love about Milkman's approach is that it's not about relying on brute force willpower.
Yeah.
It's about understanding the psychology of change
Mm-hmm.
and using those insights to design a path that works for us, not against us.
It's about being strategic, creative, and compassionate with ourselves.
Totally.
We all have those moments of impulsivity, procrastination, forgetfulness, and self-doubt.
Oh, for sure.
But now we have a toolkit of evidence-based strategies
We do.
to help us navigate those challenges.
That we can actually use.
Yeah, and remember, change is a process, not a destination.
So true.
There will be setbacks along the way.
Oh, yeah.
But the key is to keep experimenting, keep learning, and keep moving forward.
Love it.
If you enjoyed this deep dive, I highly encourage you to check out Katy Milkman's book, How to Change.
Definitely.
It's packed with even more insights and practical advice.
I'm going to check it out.
And be sure to join us next time for another fascinating exploration of the world of ideas.